Welcome to Mutual Fund Family.
Log on to mutualfundfamily.com for more info.
Hi, I'm Mrin Agarwal. I'm a financial educator and am working towards helping women achieve financial success through financial education. Welcome to the She Invests podcast series in association with SBI Mutual Fund, where I talk to a woman who has taken charge of her financial life and share with you how mutual funds helped her in her financial journey. Today I have with me Nimisha. Nimisha is heading HR for a leading FMCG brand and has been a working professional for over 14 years. Welcome, Nimisha.
Thank you, Mrin. Thank you for having me for this podcast.
So, Nimisha, I'd like to start by asking you, how did your financial journey actually begin?
Actually, I was quite naive with respect to money at the beginning of my career, Mrin. And for the first 2-3 years were spent simply enjoying the financial independence that I had. And I literally lived from check to check. There were some token investments like PPF and some money-back schemes which I participated in. But none of it was purposive. It was more hearsay and based on what others were doing.
Okay.
What really started off my financial journey was post-marriage when we were trying to pick up a place. We realized that we didn't have much savings, and that really meant a lot of money outgo from our end.
Okay.
And I started getting into financial planning much more seriously versus not really looking at it.
And did you use the services of a financial planner?
At that point in time, no. So my husband comes from a background in finance himself,
Okay.
and that helped. So yeah, we did a lot of research ourselves. We went to reputed sites and got ourselves educated, but we largely did the planning on our own.
Other than the fact that you didn't have enough for the down payment of your house, what are some of the other events that really shaped your financial journey?
When the journey of financial prudence started off with the purchase of a house, and what we realized later was that it became a habit. So that was one, and that helped us really organize ourselves. The second was at the birth of my son. He had a complicated birth, and there was a substantial outgo. We raked up a bill of around 17 lakhs. We were completely unprepared for. All of us had insurance, but clearly it was not structured for something which is this huge. So It got us thinking, and we were very clear that we needed to have clear financial goals and not just investing in the right instruments was just not enough, but investing with a purpose in mind, with a certain goal in mind is something which we started off post that.
Okay.
And the second piece was how do we prepare ourselves for contingency, right? So till then, so the right cover in terms of insurance, in terms of medical insurance, in terms of liquid funds. Those were some of the areas that we looked at to ensure that we are well prepared for contingencies then on. So our investments were largely focused on mutual funds. And I must say across the years, it's something which has been balanced. I myself am a believer for long-term investments, especially in the mutual fund area.
Yeah.
And post that incident I talked about, we've stuck looking at mutual funds, and my personal investment is in equity-focused mutual funds,
Okay.
which is a mix of mid-cap and large cap, right? So that's where we looked at.
How do you actually choose which equity fund to buy, given the fact that you guys are reading up a lot and your husband's also from the finance background? How do you actually decide which equity scheme to invest into?
Actually, it starts off with what are your financial goals, right? So that's the point where you look at. So if you are looking at long-term, which is what I said we were focused on, long-term, let's say, investments, and that's where equity made sense to us, where you can look at long-term, the kind of returns equity-focused mutual funds gives you in the long-term is pretty consistent, solid, and it clearly outperforms the market or any other investment instrument which we see out there.
Nimisha, how do you actually decide within the equity fund which fund house you're going to choose for investment?
Mrin, there is a lot of information out there. I think for me personally, we look at what is the constituent stock holding. Some of the very easily available information is the star rating of that fund. And we look at really the long-term performance of that fund. How has that been? Since I myself am a long-term investor, we look at how the fund has performed over the years as well. Those are some of the factors to look at. Plus, there are various credible sources of great analytics which tell you about the fund. So, as an investment input, I spend some time first understanding what are the various kinds of fund and how does performance get assessed, etc. Before I choose my fund.
All right. And Nimisha, can you share with us 2 key learnings of your financial journey?
My financial journey, I think the first key learning is go to define your financial goals in order to check whether whatever you're doing currently in terms of investment, in terms of planning, is adequate or not. In a situation of lack of goals, you could still be investing and never be sure whether it's adequate, not adequate, and you can still be caught by surprise. So the second has been actually, and I talked about it earlier, always plan for contingency. I think we can never be sure how life turns out to be, and your completely well-laid plans can be messed up. So it helps to have a backup plan so that at least when you're going through a difficult situation, financially you have still some security to tide through it, right? It could be anything. It could be your health situation in your family. It could be lack of a job. It could be various things.
Okay.
So the second has been clearly to plan for a contingency.
That's good to know, Nimisha. What I liked about Nimisha's financial journey is the fact that even though she didn't really save up much in the first 3 years, she quickly mended her mistakes and picked up from there. And I think that's more important than anything else, because many a time people realize that they are in a difficult financial situation but really don't take the right steps towards financial prudence. In Nimisha's case, she started goal planning, had really smart goals which are specific, measurable, accurate, time-bound goals in mind. Of course, she's been talking a lot about the contingency fund, and what better than liquid mutual funds to have your contingency money is, because the money is easily available to you at any point in time. And I really like the way she has basically organized her finances with the use of various mutual funds. Thank you, Nimisha, for being with us today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Mrin, for having me. Loved our discussion.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe Mutual Fund family.